Massive move incoming for the Washington Commanders. Today's video, we will be discussing serious implications revolving the Commanders on maybe signing free agent Pro Bowl wide receiver Amari Cooper. I'm your host, Aziel Mejia with Commanders Digest, reporting everything all Washington Commanders, offseason, regular season, and everything in between. So if you want to be caught up to date, everything Washington Commanders, make sure to run it up, subscribe right here to the channel. If you're a new watcher, new visitor, you just happen to find a video, we have a subscriber goal to we're trying to hit 500, yes, 500 subscribers by week 1 of the NFL. Week 1, I believe now, if the timeline makes sense, is 15 weeks away. I know we can hit it. Everything's in the green. Next Gen Stats on the YouTube says everything's in the green. I know we can hit it. I believe in y'all. But nonetheless, what are we at? We are at 132 last time I checked. So we don't even have to hit the full 500. We got to hit like what? What is that? 368? Don't quote me on that. I'm not a math major and it's early. Nonetheless, maybe if 87.5 of y'all who already watched the videos just subscribe. That's crazy how 87.5 of y'all are already watching the video but not subscribing to the channel. Imagine watching multiple videos on a channel and not subscribing in 2025. That's crazy. But we're gonna look, maybe you don't have time. We're gonna dedicate time within the video to subscribe. Look, everything's gonna go complete silent in 3, 2. There you go. It's that easy to subscribe. There you go. Congratulations. You just subscribed. And no one believes in you. I do. But let's get back to the video. We are discussing talks within online channel that Amari Cooper could find himself in a Commanders uniform in Washington playing at the start of the season. Which is pretty funny because if you know, Commanders fans, if you know that there have been some great battles between Amari Cooper going against Washington because he did spend time in Dallas, whether it's here in Maryland or in Dallas. Nonetheless, he could find himself going against Dallas, his former teammate, in a Washington Commanders uniform. Just to give you a little background, refresher of background knowledge, some context about Amari Cooper, he did get drafted in 2015 by the Oakland Raiders at the time. He spent 4 seasons in Oakland, then 4 seasons in Dallas, then 3 with the Cleveland Browns, and then he gets traded mid-season last year to Buffalo. So he is a journeyman within the league, looking for his final home because we will be discussing some of his stats later on in the video. But even there was a point in time where Amari Cooper was one of the best wide receivers in the field between his time in Oakland and Dallas. But obviously, the Commanders are not looking for that. If he finds himself on a team before the season starts, he will hit that 10-year mark, 10 seasons in the NFL. The Commanders don't need him to be a wide receiver 1. If you've seen our other videos, if you haven't seen those, go watch those after this one. The wide receiver room is starting to shape out more and more as the days go by. You have Deebo Samuels at the 2. You have Scary Terry at the 1. There is no cemented wide receiver 3 yet, and you can have Amari Cooper come in here and cement that spot. If anything, still go for that 2 position. We're still going to look at some of his stats from last season. But as I said, he doesn't have to be prime time Amari Cooper. That's not what the Commanders need or what the fans should expect to get from him if signed to the Commanders. But as I said, he's had great games against Washington. Those stats include having 49 catches, 815 yards, and 8 touchdowns throughout 10 games going against Commanders. We will be looking at some of his recent stats as of last year. Keep in mind, some may, just for context on this, like I said, he was traded mid-season last year to Buffalo from Cleveland. So he spent 6 games in Cleveland and 8 games in Buffalo. Just keep that in mind if you think, oh, look at his stats, they're garbage, yada, yada, yada. You try moving to a new city, learning a new scheme, new system, and trying to implicate that into your game every week. That's like, imagine yourself going to a brand new job and then trying to figure everything out, and then it's not going to work. It's going to take time. As I said, he had to learn a new scheme, new city, and even off-field, and they've been stated in other videos with free agents who get traded, is also things off-field, just moving yourself from one area to the next. You're not going to play great when you have all these other factors you have to worry about when moving to a new city. And he had to do that mid-season, and you expect him to be great. That's not going to be the case. the more reps, the more time he gets within a new system, he's gonna improve. But I still think these are good stats regarding his situation last. He had to play. I'm not saying anything bad, but he was playing in Cleveland. That's all I'm saying. No shade to Cleveland, but you know what? If you know, you know. And then have to implement himself into a new scheme in Buffalo. It was gonna take time. It was probably a struggle. But we're gonna look at these stats: 14 games, 44 receptions out of 85 targets, 4 touchdowns. He did manage to get 547 yards. Look at those. This is a great stat right here for everybody hating on him for him had to get traded. 12.4 yards per reception. That is a certified bucket. Wrong sport, but you get the analogy. Every time he touches the ball, statistically is a first down. Speaking of first downs, 25 first downs. Yards per game, 39. Longest rush, 30. We also have to take into account right there his age. He is 30. I'm not saying it, but the TikTok brain rot kids are going to say he's unk. He is unk. And then by the time, I forgot. Someone do the math on that. I think his birthday's in August, September. I forgot. But he will hit that 31 mark before the season starts. He will hit 31. He doesn't have to get a long-term deal. I'm pretty sure he's not. I know he probably understands the situation that he finds himself in, that he's not going to get a long-term deal. I believe at max, maybe 3 years you see him playing at max. And if anything, the Commanders have done a great job when signing veterans. He made it efficient for the team and efficient for the players themselves. We have mentioned it on the channel before, them getting Zach Ertz back this offseason, them getting Bobby Wagner back this season. They have great communication when it comes to getting veterans on a deal that benefits both sides. So I know the Commander could get it done. If it has to be a 1 year deal, it's a 1 year deal. You see what happens. It's like leasing a car. You see right here, you don't have to do too much. You don't have to put so much money into it. 1 year, if you like it, you resign. If you don't, then they go their separate ways. But yeah, I truly believe they could get a deal done. The AP and the gang know how to get a deal done when it comes to talking to veterans. But we're going to look more into what Mo Moton from Bleacher Report had to say about his season and how he improved from Cleveland going on to Buffalo. Him saying, even though Amari Cooper is coming off a down year, largely because of injuries, he's still a technical route runner. Also, the veteran-savvy receiver saw a notable increase in his catch rate after the Cleveland Browns traded him to the Buffalo Bills, improving from 45.3 to 62.5. So, as I said, no shade to Cleveland, but if you're you don't have to be just a casual understand that Cleveland got some things going on. Let me just say it like that. No shade, but they have some things they had to figure out. And also describing his time, his season, how it went. He had to deal with injuries. Look, so I forgot to mention that. He had to deal with injuries last season, then get traded to learn a new scheme. He's still a great player, still, as it says right here, veteran savvy receiver, and he's a great tactical route runner. We're also going to look at we're going to continue what Mo said, and how it would be if he finds himself in Washington at the start of this season. If Cooper prefers to play with a young quarterback like Josh Allen, the Washington Commanders could be an option if the interest is mutual. With Deebo Samuels and Cooper, Jayden Daniels, the 2024 Offensive Rookie of the Year, will continue to ascend as one of the league's most promising signal callers. There we go. People be calling me crazy. I say Jayden Daniels, one quote on that, emphasis on the one of the best players in the league. You see it right there. Mo agrees. The league's most promising signal callers. Just imagine the formations they could run. Jayden Daniels, Deebo Samuels, Amari Cooper, Scary Terry. If he could find himself in Washington, it will benefit both sides of the ball. Imagine the amount of routes you can run, the schemes. And then we haven't even mentioned a great offensive coordinator in Cliff Kingsbury. It's great to see. But we had to see the wide receiver room in Washington is pretty stacked. We have mentioned that. It revolves around Scary Terry, Deebo Samuels, Jalen Lane, the rookie, Michael Gallup, you get out of retirement. You have Christian McCaffrey. You re-sign Noah Brown. You have KJ Osborne. You have a lot of wide receivers. But as I said, Amari Cooper, what he does have is that experience. You can't buy experience. Experience when playing in a team. And we also take into account him and head coach for the Washington Commanders right now, Dan Quinn, have some experience. Not a lot, but they have experience working together when it comes on a football team. They were in Dallas at the same time in 2021. It was just one season, but You never know what could be built off of that. So maybe Dan Quinn could have some influence with getting Amari Cooper in a Washington uniform. But I don't make the rules. We don't decide. It's going to all come down to AP and gang. What do you guys think? Do you think we can see Amari Cooper in a Washington uniform at the start of the 2025 season? Or is it, oh, we don't need him. We have too many wide receivers at the day. We don't need to get him. But let me comment down below. Make sure to subscribe. Like I said, subscribe. If anything breaks within Commanders atmosphere, you know we'll be covered right here on the channel. So make sure to subscribe, stay up to date with everything all Washington Commanders on the channel right here. But I'm Ozzy Mejia with Commander Digest, and I'll see you in the next video.